Jay, welcome back to the channel. Guys, something came in my inbox today which honestly kind of baffled me. I'm not really sure exactly what this is, but it looks like Marvel Legends is releasing a brand new Legacy line? Yeah, that's interesting. But did we really ask for this? Guys, please join me as I take a deeper dive into this new line of action figures from Marvel Legends. But guys, before we get started, please consider subscribing to the channel. I post up to 2 episodes a week, and I hope you guys will enjoy. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you guys will always know when new episodes are posted. Alright guys, without further ado, let's dive right into this and see exactly what's going on. So guys, this came into my inbox recently, pretty much this morning. And yeah, I'm kind of confused. I mean, don't get me wrong, an idea of a legacy collection is actually pretty neat. You know, it's been done, similar things have been done with other toy companies in the past. But, you know, at this time of kind of climate that we have right now with toys and action figures just being so expensive right now, it's a strange move on Hasbro's part, you know, to be introducing this line right now. And obviously, they have decided to go with one of the properties which, you know, in terms of Marvel movies, has been one of the most successful. But now I have to wonder if, you know, the Black Panther line is as successful enough to support this type of initiative. Anyway, let's dive in and take a look at some of these action figures that are being, I guess, re-released as Marvel Studios Legacy Collection. So as we can see here, it says, introducing Marvel Studios Legacy Collection. Check out the Marvel Legends series, Marvel Studios Black Panther Legacy Collection featuring Black Panther, Eric Killmonger, Marvel's Nakia, and Shuri. Again, very interesting that they should be introducing this right now with the current, you know, toy prices being the way they are. I understand the idea of a legacy collection. Multiple companies have done it, you know, throughout the years. But again, toy prices being what they are, it's very interesting that they would make this move at this junction. But having said that, let's take a look at them right now. It says here, pre-order now. And we can see, here they are. We have Shuri, we have Nakia, we have Killmonger, and we do have the Black Panther. Let's take a deep dive into, you know, these figures, starting with Shuri. So Shuri here, honestly, I can see right away that she has brand new paint apps. That seems to be the biggest thing with Shuri with this particular figure. You know, her skin, if I'm not mistaken, seems to be a little bit, you know, more, I don't know, brighter, I guess is really the way I would describe it. It could also be the white background, but, you know, we'll do a small comparison in a minute. But yeah, the overall sculpt, though, as far as I can tell, is the exact same figure that was released in the first wave, you know, when this figure was actually released the first time. She comes with pretty much the exact same accessories, you know, those two Panther, you know, blasters. Yeah, and for the most part, I really can't see anything different about this character. Here is the actual release, and let's take a closer look at this. So yeah, here's what she comes with. The Legacy branding is right at the top. Legends series, obviously the Marvel Legends series, and yeah, for the most part, it's really bare bones. She just comes with the two blasters, the figure itself, and of course the branding for Black Panther. So if we take a look at, you know, the packaging for the original series, the Build-A-Figure Hulk was where she was released originally. Yeah, I really don't see anything else. The only thing different here is that you technically get more value with the Build-A-Figure part, you know, part at the time. And, you know, with toy prices the way they are, I really don't understand why they're doing this type of release at this stage. And you know what, just to compare once again, you know, like I said, her original release, the colors were a little bit more subdued, I think a little bit more realistic, you know, compared to what was on screen. You know, comparing her here, she definitely appears to have a lighter skin tone, you know, some brighter colors on the paint apps, but for the most part, she is the exact same figure. I can't tell any differences from there. So guys, let me know, what do you think? I think perhaps the facial sculpt might be slightly different, but honestly, I think it might just be the eyes and the way they painted them slightly bigger. It's a toss-up for me, guys. It really is. And the price point today, you know, this figure is actually going for $24.99 US. That's a lot of money, especially considering, you know, when she first got released, I believe the price was $19.99. Again, kind of interesting. Interesting move by Hasbro. Let's take a look at the next figure. So here we have Marvel Legends series Nakia. And again, I just have to default to the idea that she's basically the same figure that we got before, but with slightly different paint apps. And here's the crazy thing about this. I actually argue she has less paint than the original release. Check it out, guys. So if we open up this image here and we zoom in, if you look carefully, there's a lot of wonderful, rich detail that's in her costume here. It's beautiful. But take a look at this particular V pattern right on her chest. If we take a look at that and then look at the original release, guys, is it just me, or are there way more paint apps on this figure compared to this one? And by that notion, her vibra blades, vibranium, weapons, they are of a different, translucent material now, which makes them glow. But you know what? They're really not that much different from the original releases. I am kind of torn by this. Her face sculpt, I think, is the exact same. Maybe slightly different, but it's actually the paint apps that really make the difference here. And honestly, it's really a toss-up now. I think they removed some of the paint on the costume and actually, made the face a little bit brighter. I'm not sure. I am really torn by this release here. I'm not sure exactly what they're going for. It's kind of crazy. And of course, there is a bit of a palette swap. She has darker legs here. I think that's more accurate, honestly. Again, very, very odd choice. Looks like she has different legs, though, now that I look at that. That's interesting. These legs actually are brand new compared to these legs here, but I wonder if these legs are actually shared by some other characters in the MCU. That will be something that Robo is going to dig deep into, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, very, very interesting that this this style has decided to come out for Marvel Legends. But guys, what do you think? This is, very, very interesting. In terms of packaging, it's kind of Spartan. It basically says Legacy Collection. She comes with her two, vibranium weapons, translucent material, of course, translucent plastic. But when we compare it to, the original release, I mean, arguably, Okoye, if that's how you pronounce it, I apologize if that's not the way it is, there's technically more value here for what you got. I mean, again, very, very interesting move on Marvel's part. On Hasbro's part. Very, very interesting. Let's take a look at the next character. This, of course, is Marvel Legends series Killmonger, and honestly, he was actually one of my very favorite characters. He is a what they would call a tragic character. He was born into a bastard type of situation, and then he had to crawl up from the gutter to take back what he believed was his. Very, very interesting character. Now, the original release of Killmonger, if you guys remember, was a single pack release, and it actually did not come with his human head. So that in and of itself is interesting. But it did come parts of Okoye. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize. And yeah, that again is added value. This new release, if we scroll down. Yeah, again, very, very Spartan. He doesn't come with much other than the standard accessories: his swappable hands, the swappable head, and of course the two different blade weapons. Now, it should be mentioned that there wasn't a swappable head in the original version that was released. And the only way you could get his swappable head for the original character, other than swapping the character's head from his civilian fatigues, was to get it in the 2-pack with Everett Ross. Yeah, this is actually I think the release that a lot of people wanted. Again, Everett came with practically nothing. He only came with a sidearm, and this is actually exactly what you get in the current version of the release for the Legacy Edition. And again, it's interesting. I believe the paint apps, if I'm not mistaken, there are actually more paint apps on the 2-pack version than there are on the Legacy Edition. So I am so confused as to what's going on here. If I didn't know better, I think this is actually a budget release being offered at the standard price. Seriously, guys, what are your thoughts on this? I really don't know what to think on this level. Well, actually, it actually is more akin to the release, the paint apps that were on the first release. But again, I still think there are more paint apps here. Just saying, I think there are more paint apps here. If you look here carefully, I still think there are slightly more paint apps here than there are on the new release. Again, I'm very, very confused by this. It's perplexing. All right, let's take a look at the very last character in the release. And the very last character we're going to take a look at today is, of course, T'Challa, the Black Panther himself. I think there might be something more here, and we'll dive into that in a second. But this release is actually for the second version of the Black Panther, which actually shows the vibranium suit, charging up the energy attacks, and that is very interesting. We see the purple lines, going throughout the suit. Comes with a swappable head, as we can see here, and there it is. This is everything that this particular release comes with: the swappable hands, the swappable head. Very Spartan again in its overall nature. If we take a look at all the releases, and there were a lot of them for the Black Panther. I mean, there were several releases. Whether or not it had a different, necklace and the suit's overall design, whether it was, in rest mode, if I like to call it, where he's not being attacked, or, charge up mode, where basically he's taken several attacks to the armor, meaning he actually has not blocked much. But yeah, this is kind of perplexing. The original release, came with, again, Build-A-Figure parts with M'Baku. So we do see the original swappable head here, along with the vibranium charge-up features, and M'Baku's, arm. But for the most part, again, I'm going to say it, I think this actually might have less paint apps than the original release. Now, one thing that I will say, I think the head sculpt is different. So, out of all the figures that are being released right now, I think the head sculpt is actually the big improvement here on this particular version of Black Panther. So yeah, very interesting, choices by Marvel and Hasbro. Very interesting choices by Hasbro to release this figure as it is. Yeah, and now I'm going to put it to you guys. What are your thoughts? Because honestly, I'm very confused. Wow, guys. Yeah, I'm kind of confused as to what is going on with this particular line, but I have to admit, the figures do look okay. I mean, they're fine. They are what they are. They're just re-releases of the, Black Panther line. The, of course, perplexing part of this is they don't come with a build figure. There's no real, need other than a new movie coming out very soon, which actually technically hasn't even been announced officially in terms of like solicitation, trailers or anything like that. So yeah, it's an interesting time to be announcing something like this, and kind of an interesting move on Marvel's and of course Hasbro's part. But guys, what do you think? I'm gonna put it to you now. Are you guys interested in picking up any of these figures? I mean, other than a few paint differences, they are the exact same figures for the most part. I'm really kind of confused as to what this line represents. But, it might appeal to somebody who basically missed out on the first line. Some of these figures might have actually raised in price. I'm not really sure. Somebody probably, Nerdzoic is probably going to do a whole review on that, I guess, I would imagine. But yeah, guys, please let me know if you guys are in on this at all, or if, again, just because of toy prices in general, if these are just not in your wheelhouse and you're not going to be picking up, mainly because the expense is just something you don't need right now. Guys, please let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, everybody. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Geek proud. I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreon and channel member supporters: RyRackCan33, Old IT Guy, Princess Cagali, John Joker, Michael Traverso, Christopher Herndon, Snell World, Thomas Meyer, Budrick Porter, and Joseph Michaels. Thank you for all your support, everybody. It really means a lot to me and really does help the channel to keep going.